Rebel's asked you to build an all-wheel drive 037.
Yep, that's right. Yep. So we'll build one of those, shall we?
That's a bit of a challenge, frankly. Me sitting here, I'm like, that's a bit of a challenge. So how are you actually going to do that?
So how are we going to do that? How are we
Tell
going to build an all-wheel drive 037? Okay, well, it's pretty straightforward, really. You just bang a front diff in there, bang some axle shafts in there, faff about a bit, and there you go, all-wheel drive 037. So, I mean, realistically, we're already building two-wheel drive 037s, so we've got a recipe that works for the two-wheel drive, and so we just need to add a really great gearbox manufacturer and basically just say to them, we want your gearbox behind our motor in the back of the car where it belongs, and we'll whack a transfer case on there and we'll put a drive shaft through the centre of the cockpit, and we'll put a front diff in the car, and you know, wham bam, thank you ma'am, it's all good.
Well, you're basically saying it's pretty easy, but that's not entirely true, because I've seen you at this drawing board making pretty pictures
of
the front end.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know.
Elaborate.
Yeah, okay, so the way we build 037s at the moment is that we take a Monte Carlo, which is already a rare piece of equipment and pretty ancient, and then we have to do a whole lot of rust repair to the cockpit of a Monte Carlo, and then we have to cut the front and the rear off the car, and then we strengthen up the rear of the car to take the rear space frame, and we strengthen some of the front of the tub for the front space frame. And if we look at that, it's really time consuming to build like that. So
we'll do another episode on how long it takes.
So that's quite time consuming to do that. And then if we throw the complications of putting in a four-wheel drive system, which is complicated by the fact that we've got a transfer case and that we have a drive shaft running longitudinally down the body or through the centre of the tub, let's not build it like we were building it, because it just lends itself to being more problematic. It's harder to fit a driver and a co-driver in there when you're constrained by the tub as it was.
That Monte Carlo.
Yeah, that Monte Carlo tub. It's so time consuming to build the car with that tub that we're far better off to do a full space frame chassis, and we can just build everything around the engine, gearbox, transfer case, front diff, assembly to make it work. And we can keep it as Monte Carlo, as 037, because we know the chassis works for us. The rear space frame, the front space frame already in CAD, ready to model up with our new space frame design for the centre, and basically, you know, that's the way we're going to move. We will basically modify our front space frame to incorporate the all-wheel drive system, so the front wheel drive. And basically, it doesn't have to be rocket science. There's still a lot of rocketry going on, because we're just adding the front wheel drive part, aren't we, realistically? So, you know, just chuck that there. Just,
I mean, like,
you know, it's all good.
It's not just chuck that there. I mean, I'm no engineer.
Right.
I know how to do camera thing.
Right. Okay.
You're the one who can actually draw stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we've made some reels that went on the Rebel Instagram. Follow us.
Yep.
And we had a bit of a chat about how you're going to have to modify the front end. But you were sort of saying it's not actually going to be, the reason like it'll be easy is because we're kind of incorporating bits from the Delta S4.
Yeah, I mean, we're not reinventing the wheel. We're not making some huge major design change per se. What we're trying to do is we're trying to recreate the basic 037 and give it that extra drive so that it can, can compete with four-wheel drive cars. And the really cool thing is that, we can do it because the S4 is real. There are a lot of cars out there that actually have four-wheel drive, and we can incorporate some of that design stuff from the S4 into the 037 chassis and make that work for us. We don't have to overthink it, but we still have to think about what we're doing. I mean, we can't just glue this bit on here and stuff that up there and, Bob's your auntie, Fanny's your aunt. We do have to work at it to make it work. And that's fine. But that's what I'm here for. I'm here to do.
That's why you've got the drawing board.
Yeah, that's why we've got the drawing board. So we can draw all the stuff that we need, and it's basically just it's like making the Incredible Hulk angry. He grows a bit here, there, some clothes fall off, and what do you know? Different person. Okay, so 037, you just add a few bits, and what do you know? It's a different 037. Still looks ostensibly the same because it's still an 037 that we're building. So we're not changing the bodywork. The bodywork is going to be the same. It's going to look like, the classic 1980s Lancia 037 Group B rally car. Still going to look like that. With our engine stuff, it's going to sound like it to a certain degree. And people talk about making, these resto mod cars. I'd like to, coin one of the resto mods, but I can't really think of anything at the moment. Maybe something like that Camaro thing. Is that a resto mod? There's a new Camaro, isn't there?
I don't know American cars.
American cars much. Anyway, they all talk about, they import all this new suspension design and stuff into these resto mods, and they put lever action shock absorber systems with multiple links and all sorts of fancy carry-on. We're not doing that. What we're trying to give you is an authentic time warp capsule back to the 80s with the suspension that was being used back then, and a car that really, really worked well, and with the all-wheel drive will work even better.
It's kind of like an alternate reality almost. Like if there was like an 80s version of something that didn't really exist. So it's not really resto mod. It's sort of something.
It's an evolution,
a little bit different
of the car, really.
Yeah.
And it's an evolution for us as well, because Carteroni has been building the two-wheel drive car, and for quite some time now, and so it's a great time for us to go. Okay, let's step it up. Let's make an all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive 037. Makes sense, doesn't it? Really, I mean, why not? We can do it.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a lot to do. I've been at the drawing board for quite some time. Some days I really don't want to be here at the drawing board. I'd rather be, out doing something with the 037 or whatever. But anyway, I mean, we're a long way down the track. We've got our all-wheel drive space frame sitting there that we're going to do some modifications with and that sort of thing in CAD. The two-wheel drive roller space frame is just about ready to show you guys. So if you hang around, you might see something. That'd be cool. And so, I mean, there is a lot of work, don't get me wrong. It's not easy, but it's totally doable, and we can do it.
Yeah, it's pretty much just that, like modifying the front end, like making sure the newly developed centre section so that full space frame chassis comes up all nice, and then just finding a way to run the drive shaft through the front that's not going to like take up all that space in the cabin, right?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about space in the cabin because
it is
quite a critical thing. People, you're feeding yourselves far too much food at an early age and making yourselves far too big. But anyway, we can't downsize you all, so we'll just have to upsize the interior space in the car.
Not all of us are 1980s Italians or Walter Roll.
Right, okay.
Was
well,
he
that's
tall?
right. He was very tall, wasn't he?
Never mind.
Okay.
Get Ryan in the 037.
Yeah, it'd be good to get Ryan in the 037 and, make it fit him. So everybody's getting, is taller and broader and that sort of thing. So we've got to fit you all in the car. And to do that, we've got to grow our roll cage and our safety cell out to the absolute skin of the car. And that's the way we're going to grow space. And also we're going to fit in some funky pedal box stuff that allows us to get more room, so you'll get more leg room, that sort of thing, and it'll make it a much more enjoyable driving experience. Because at the moment, inside a 037, if you ever get the opportunity to jump into an 037, get in there, think about how much space.
Yeah, you got to have that around, 2 inches above the helmet, don't you?
Yeah. And so, your fist is just about there. You do that.
Very scientific measurement, people.
It is really. And there you go. There's sod all room inside the 037 with the modern cage
design,
thing
which
in
fits
there.
inside the Monte Carlo. So if
yes,
we can
exactly.
stop having a Monte Carlo center
Yep.
section, we can fit like more diverse sizes of driver in there.
Yeah, we can just
fit
expand that
a drive
space.
line in there.
Yep, and so
Beefier
we've
roll
got
cage, it's safer.
More width for the passenger and the driver, and so there is going to be a shaft going down between the driver and the passenger, and it's going to be spinning at some oodly speed. We sort of have to talk to SATEV about that speed, but anyway, it's all good because those guys are real experts in the field of gearboxes and drive lines and that sort of thing. So they're going to help us out heaps. And never fear, an all-wheel drive car, four-wheel drive 037, you'll still be able to do massive handbrake turns and that sort of thing because we've got the secret weapon from SATEV that'll allow us to do that. And there's so much cool stuff coming up.
Tune in later for the secret weapon.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't tell them
now. Indeed.
Well, cool. There's a few challenges, but
there are.
We're cruisy about it, and I think we can get there.
Yeah. The thing is, if you look at the whole picture, it becomes a bit daunting. So don't get overexcited about the whole thing. Just take it off in different pieces, and we look at each piece and work through the issues that belong to that piece of the puzzle. Like the front diff, it sits right where my steering rack wants to be and that sort of thing. Well, we'll just have to reposition a few things and move stuff around. But it's all really doable, and it's going to be awesome when it's out there being tested. So that's going to be the exciting thing. So
it's going to be fun to make videos about.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Stay in touch.
Yeah, it's good. That's good. No, it's cool.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Episode 2 time.